Today, I'm traveling halfway around the globe to uncover the next big sector of crypto by looking for gold outside of the Serengeti. To get here, I've had to fly 30 hours to Tanzania and then drive another 4 hours down long dirt roads to one of the most isolated parts of the country. I've been on this remote road now for hours, and it's sucking me deeper and deeper into this remote landscape. And this is all leading me to Niamongo, a gold mining town just outside of Lake Victoria, the second largest freshwater lake in the entire world. Now, despite Tanzania being one of the most gold-rich countries in Africa, I'm not looking for regular gold. There's a blockchain company partnering with gold mines with the goal of eliminating gold mining in selected areas, and they're doing this by creating an even more profitable way of using the lands. However, what they're doing isn't new at all. It's actually an already existing trillion-dollar industry with one main issue. So I'm here in Africa to not only learn what that problem is and how exactly this company is going to orchestrate all of this, but on a more personal note, is this a project that I want to put my own money in? To start, I want to figure out why stop gold mining in the first place if it's so profitable. And I'm kicking off this journey by meeting one of those gold mine owners that's partnered up with this company called Element United. Now, before I get here and sit down with this mine owner, if you aren't familiar with blockchain projects and how it all works, is there's many incentives and benefits into getting into projects that are doing innovative things earlier on in their development. However, finding these projects are a dime a dozen. And like any new sector in history, there's going to be many failures along the way that pave the road for those that are going to come in and actually change. So let's see what the mine owners have to say. Now, eventually the dirt road ends and we get to meet the mine owner, Jay Peters, at his compound just outside of Niamongo.
My name is Jay Peters. I forged a partnership with Element, and we're utilizing a project that I'm doing here in Tanzania in the gold mining sector. I had a meeting with the president regarding a charity that I run that feeds people. He said, I've got a project that I can give you. And he explained to me that they had some really special ground in the gold mining arena. There are 60,000 artisanal miners working this area. Unfortunately, they're doing it in a very dangerous and very unsafe way.
So I asked him, why stop gold mining to begin with?
Gold mining is never going away. It backs too many things. It's wanted by too many people. The majority of gold never sees the light of day. It ends up in a vault somewhere. But what we've decided to do is take a large segment, the majority of our ground, and digitize it so that it'll never need to be mined. What that'll do is create income for other industry here.
Now, I stayed the night in a very small hotel and the next day headed to the gold mines to learn more about this operation. So we got in the vehicle, headed up to the mines, and in the vehicle I met a group of guys, all here for different reasons, but with the singular purpose of checking out the gold mines. And as I'm on my way overlooking the African landscape, I have no idea what to expect, but I can't help think maybe I'll even get to go in one of these mines myself and possibly even see some gold. So before even getting to the gold mines, I witnessed the devastating effects gold mining takes on the environment. So much gold that is mined is extracted in ore, and each piece of ore only has so much gold in it. And all of this rock right here on the side of these roads is gold ore worth millions of dollars. But to get the gold out of the ore, cyanide and mercury must be used. And once it's used, that cyanide has to be stored away for decades. One of those places is one of the largest cyanide ponds in the world, just outside of the town we were in. Now, this is not only dangerous for the people handling it, but it's contaminating the villages as well. But despite all of these horrific facts, if you were to ask the locals, do you want to eliminate gold mining? They would say no, because it's one of their main sources of income in their economy. And some people have even turned their entire houses into a gold mining operation since they live on gold-rich lands and their average income per month is only $150 US. So we know mining gold is incredibly profitable despite how dangerous it is. But I want to see and experience it as close as possible. So when asked if I wanted to go down in one of the mines, of course I said yes. And after getting into what seemed like an oversized cauldron with just a hard hat and some boots on, they sent me down about 100 feet in a gold mine to see what it was like firsthand. And these workers down here do this every single day. But all of this still doesn't explain what Element United is doing with these gold mines. How are they actually going to make money if they aren't mining gold? I mean, gold mining has been going on since the history of mankind, since reported 7000 BC. So using geographical reports, companies can see how dense or not dense certain areas are with gold and precious metals. And since the risk and the cost are still the same to get those less dense gold out of the ground, that's why Jay is closing off certain areas of his operation that mimic this to be used for Element United. And this is where turning the land into a different type of gold begins. Carbon credits were started almost 30 years ago by the United Nations in an effort to financially incentivize large companies to reduce the amount of carbon they are producing. And since their inception, pretty much every large company at this state uses them, which is why it's evolved into an almost $1 trillion industry. However, it has one major problem right now. It's hard to prove the exact amount of carbon that they're actually saving. Let me explain. So not only can these companies receive carbon credits by reducing their emissions internally, but they can also purchase carbon credits externally. So whether it's through a carbon offset company or environmental organization, these companies are ensuring that they're offsetting the amount of carbon that these companies are purchasing. However, over the last few years, through investigative journalism, reports have shown that several of these large carbon offset programs are selling carbon credits when in reality, they don't have any carbon credits to actually sell. And that's because until now, it's been incredibly difficult to verify this information. But that's where Element United comes in, because they've created a blockchain-based service through the tokenization of assets, and that is the Element token. So with every gold mine that Element partners with, not only are they under contract to stop gold mining, but the area they sectioned off will be planted with trees. Every tree and acre will be virtually identified and uploaded to the blockchain for everyone to see in live time. And the interesting part is that this is already being done in other industries. For example, there's a winery in France that's doing this, and because they have verification of the carbon itself, these carbon credits are selling on the upper end of the market, even past the higher market value right now. So companies are paying for the verification and the trust because they know what they're getting. But this still doesn't answer the question, how does this create income for the businesses that are doing this? Imagine the blockchain is this network of mini computers, and in order for this network to run, these mini computers need to be set up and running to process and solve problems. Now in crypto, these are called nodes, and because the computers are decentralized, projects need to incentivize users to run these nodes so the network can operate. And to do that, in this case, every node is rewarded with 3,500 Element tokens per day. And these Element tokens have a finite number. So every year in February, the amount of Element tokens that can be earned by operating the nodes gets cut in half. And this is important when trying to determine the value of any asset is what is the supply and the demands. But even more important than the supply is the actual utility. What is the actual purpose of the project? If you buy a token that has no utility, even if you're receiving this token every single day, it's the equivalent of getting a free meal at a restaurant that doesn't exist. So Element United in this case is making it to where the only way you can purchase these carbon credits is with the Element token. And the more companies that use this, the more the price of the token increases. It's that simple. But now that I'm back after spending a week at the mines in Africa and talking with the team, what are my reflections on this project as a whole? I think the problems that they're trying to solve with Web3 and blockchain technologies in terms of the carbon credit verification issue and eliminating some possibly unneeded gold mining are worthwhile causes. And the fact that they have first mover advantage gives them a lead over the competition. But that being said, can they execute? And the answer is, I don't know. I personally run a handful of Element nodes, but it's such a small portion of my portfolio that if they weren't able to execute this and something were to happen to this project, it wouldn't really hurt me because I already factored that in. The newer the project, the riskier it is, plain and simple. But that also means that the potential for the reward is higher as well. Now, they did tell me that regardless of whatever my outcome for this video, that they wanted to host a webinar that could go into much more depth than I ever could in this video, and they would be giving away one of their smaller light nodes to anyone who attends. So whether you just want to learn more about this project or industry, or you've never actually ran a crypto node for passive income, I think that this is a great place to start. And to be clear, this was not a sponsored video. I paid for my plane ticket and hotel in Tanzania, and I'm in no way endorsing this project. I'm just covering the story of some problems that we could see blockchain and some projects as well solve in our lifetime. But stay safe out here, guys, and until next time.